Welcome, Top Fan Rivalry fans, to Lady and the Diamond. I am your host, Lina Rodriguez. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, I always have my favorite right hand, left hand, my umpire, the pitcher, the star of the show, Mr. Bill. Thank you so much for joining us.
Star show might be a little drastic, but all right, okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. Thank you, thank you.
Well,
You are so welcome. Lena, I love doing these shows with you, and I'm so excited to air these. And this is actually being pre-recorded, but we're going to air this on Wednesday, so I'm so excited about this.
yes, well, as always, we do have a guest, and the reason why I said you're star of the show today because I'm actually going to get to interview you today, and
Oh,
because the thing is, I feel like when you're the host of the show, of
hmm.
course, you're the one asking the questions, and very rarely do you get to answer those questions, and very rarely do people get to know us. So I said, let's go ahead and dive in and we're both going to ask each other questions, but we're also going to answer them. So
Perfect.
I just
Let's
thought
do it.
it was a fun game of catch.
Okay, so you're
Yeah,
turning the camera around on me. I like it. Okay, let's do
absolutely.
it.
And the mic. So, all
Yeah, there you
right. So here's our first pitch. So
go.
when you know you're going to a game, what do you look forward to?
It's funny. I go to a lot of games a year. As you've seen,
Mhm.
we've
Yes.
been all over the place. San Diego, Anaheim, LA, Oakland, Kansas City, San Francisco, New York, Boston, Philadelphia. And I'm sure I'm missing a few, St. Louis. But when I know that I'm going to a game, I look forward most about getting there and which one of my friends are going to be there because it's
Hmm.
always a good time when I go to a game. It's always like for me, I could sit at a game by myself alone and still enjoy it, but I love looking forward to seeing my friends. Who's going? When are we doing it? What are we doing?
Yep. And you've built quite a community to be able to do that. I'm sure you not only go to the game with friends, but you probably make friends while you're there.
Amber always says to me, I can, be standing in line and know everything about somebody just standing in line in front of them or behind them by the time that we get our food.
Yep, yep.
Just have a good
Yep.
time.
You're definitely a very friendly person, so I can see how that happens.
Thank you. How about
Mhm.
you? What do you look forward to when you know you're going to a game? What do you look forward to most?
You know what? I think for me personally, it has been as I guess as simple as it sounds, it's just experience. Like it's just being able to go in there and relax, but also like take in, the energy in there. There's always so much excitement. There's always, good food. There's always good drinks. So it's really just going in there and forgetting about the world, like forgetting about my problems, forgetting about, anything else. Like I'm literally just present. I'm there. I'm having a good time. So that's what I look forward to. And of course, I just enjoy the game itself. But for the most part, I love watching fans go crazy. Even if it's for the
Mhm.
other team, it's just always so funny to see how fans, because again, I'm new to baseball. So I didn't know what to expect going to a baseball game. Like I just, on TV, it's one thing, but like when you're there, you just see how united people are as well. Because even if it's like the opposite team or the rivalry team, they're there to cheer on their team, and when it's a good play, it's a good play, and so everyone is just there, high-fiving, cheering. So yeah, so that's basically what I just look forward to the experience.
Love it. So
Yeah.
then let me ask you the next question. What starts off the experience for you? And ladies and gentlemen, this is being pre-recorded. We will have to edit this pot. No, I'm teasing. What starts off the experience for you, Lita?
So honestly, it's always the pregame. It's always the pregame. My friends and I, we love to hang out in the parking lot and, just get the party going and walk in. We're typically late. I mean, that's just, we're usually on our own time. So yeah, we just go in there and already, on a high frequency and having a good time. So
High frequency. Awesome.
yep. All right, so next question. What starts off the experience for you?
For
Speaking of
me,
experience, yeah.
okay. So
Wait, was
for
that
me,
that was my yes, that was your
yeah,
question.
for you, high frequency, the pregame. For me,
Mhm.
what starts out the experience for me really is when you see the ballpark for the first time. You're
Mhm.
in the car or whatever, the subway or whatever, and you see this cathedral that is a baseball stadium, right? And it doesn't matter if it's in Anaheim or LA or New York or Boston or whatever. The first time that you see it, you realize I'm here. I'm going in there. I'm going to
Mhm.
watch a baseball game. I'm
Mhm.
going to be with 45,000 like-minded people. We're going to have a great time. And
Yep.
so that's what really starts the experience off the first time I see the ballpark.
You know what? I'm gonna agree with that. It is definitely a very exciting feeling of like, okay, I'm gonna get to go in there and see what all the hype is about. Of course, like as a Dodgers fan, you've been to the stadium 100 times, but going to a new stadium is a whole different experience. And that excitement of like, ooh, who am I gonna see in there? What's going, you get to see a lot of history as well. I think that's one of my favorite things to do when I'm in a new stadium is just kind of like walk around, kind of take it all in and, read about the history there, take pictures of, certain things that they have in there, memorabilia. So yeah, it's definitely a really cool experience. So, speaking of being inside the ballpark, as I mentioned, one of the experiences that I love is the food. So, what is your guilty pleasure food to eat at a ballpark?
Ah, the first time I interviewed you, you talked about the food. It's funny that you're asking me this question. This is
Yes,
great. I love
yes,
it.
I'm a
I love it.
foodie.
You better get ready because I'm going to ask the same question. But okay,
Absolutely.
here we go. I don't have, it depends on the stadium, right?
Mhm,
So if I'm at Anaheim Stadium, I head over to Brewery X. They always have good meals and they change them around for every team.
okay.
If I'm at Dodger Stadium, my guilty pleasure is I got to get a stale Dodger dog, right? Doesn't matter if
Mhm,
they're fresh or not, you just got to do it.
yeah.
If I go to Globe Life, for example, in Arlington,
Mhm,
I've got to get their 2 foot long hot dog and share it with like 6 people or whatever. It's just if I go to an MLIB game, like for example in Las Vegas, Jeff Geary there always does a great job with
mhm.
coming up with like different things from different teams. And so for me, it's the location and
Mhm.
knowing what's good at that location and or historical. Like I said, Dodger Dog. You can get those things at Costco or Walmart or
Sure,
Sam's Club
yeah,
or whatever.
right.
But being there and smelling the Dodger dogs and the people and
Mhm,
the vibe,
mhm.
that's where it's at.
Yep,
So
yep. Well, Imma have to agree with you. I would say one of my guilty pleasures, at Dodger Stadium, besides the Dodger dog, they have some good tacos, so I actually did enjoy some good tacos last time I was there, and the nachos. So, of
how about
course,
nachos?
I'm gonna go for the Mexican food. So yeah, the nachos and the tacos were and they give you the nachos in like the little helmet bucket.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so of
Yeah.
course
So
I took that home.
so I get nervous about those, Lena, because I gotta tell you, I had a really tough 2022 health wise. There were some things that happened. You know
Mhm.
about them. We don't need to talk about it right here. But I was not allowed to go to baseball games for a year because I couldn't be around crowds. And
Uh,
our
okay.
last baseball game we went to, I won't mention the stadium, but Anaheim Stadium.
Mhm.
I went and I got the helmet nachos, and I
Okay.
told them no frijoles, right?
Mm,
Please, no beans. I get
mhm,
back to my seat and I take one bite and it's loaded with beans. And so I take it back and I told the person, both in English and Spanish, please no beans.
mhm.
Got it back to my seat, still beans in it. And so I'm like, oh. So I love helmet nachos, but I
Yeah.
still have a little bit of weird,
A little yeah, yeah. I hear you on
are they
that.
gonna mess up my nachos? Right?
That's also disappointing. It's like you have one job. Like let's just
Yeah.
yeah, like that. I get it.
You, I'm gonna remember that. Like, you have one job. Let's go. Let's let's
That's
not
it.
let's not
Just
screw this
no
up.
beans.
Yeah. Okay, for you, I'm gonna flip this around because I know this. I know you did like you said, a high energy as you're already going into the ballpark. What is your favorite beverage to have at a ballpark?
So Dodger Stadium, it's always a michelada. I've talked about the michelada so many times that you guys should know. Like, have my michelada on tap, ready to go as soon as I walk in the ballpark. It is for me, it's a tradition at this point. Like I have to have a michelada, and I don't know what it is, what they put in the micheladas there at the Dodger Stadium, but they are probably the best I've ever had. Um, And then I'm gonna say their blue margaritas too. The blue margaritas at Dodger Stadium are always a hit. No pun intended. Like, they are definitely they'll hit you, they'll creep up on you because, it's like this really sweet, margarita mix that they use, and anytime you get, a pre-drink made that way, you just have to be prepared for what's about to hit you because you just never know when it's gonna hit. So yeah, those are definitely my favorite beverages, and I know you're not a drinker, so, like, what's your favorite beverage? I mean, it could be anything, obviously.
So so I'm not a drinker. I listen, I have family history that of people that got well too comfortable with their drinking that caused
Mhm,
health problems. So I just chose in
mhm.
my life never to start. And I don't
Oh,
care what
good
people
for
do. I
you.
just figure if it's in my family history that people get too comfortable with it, why start so I don't have the problem?
Yeah.
Um, I'm not a soda guy. I wish that I was,
Mhm,
but I'm not a soda guy. I don't like the way that I feel on caffeine.
mhm,
And it's nothing personal. I just don't like the way I feel on caffeine.
mhm,
So usually all they have is either Fanta or Sprite at ballparks. So I try to look for something fun like ices. If the
mm,
Dodger Stadium now has on the field level, they have an icy machine at like two different places. So
oh,
even though I'm walking around well over 40 years old with my stinking icy, it's
yeah,
better than having a Sprite or a orange Fanta that I paid six times. Like I could have bought three cases at Costco for what I paid for this half a sip of a drink.
right.
So for me, it's finding something fun like that. There's some ballparks have really good lemonade. So
Mm,
you go after the lemonade. Some ballparks have like a strawberry lemonade, or they'll have some type of a
mhm,
mocktail or something like that. So you go after that, but
okay.
I'm not going to give you $18 for a Sprite. That much I can tell you. That
Yeah,
much,
no, I can totally understand that for
that
sure.
much I can tell you. Um, yeah. So yeah, no, I'm not that.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit here.
Mhm.
Speaking of gears, do you gear up for the game, or do you just are you just a I'm coming as I am person? So are you like full geared out, before you walk in there, head to toe blue, like give me your dress code from when you're going to a game.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned this. So starting last year, every ballpark that we visited, and I didn't get a chance to do it in New York and Boston and Philly in this last trip, just because of limitations for how much was in my suitcase, right? I
Gotcha.
mean, I travel with a suitcase that I don't have to pay for,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't leave a lot of room for buying extras.
Right.
Um, but typically when I go to a ballpark, I will go to a ballpark and I
Mhm,
will buy a jersey from that team, from that home team,
mhm.
and I'll put my baseball number on it, number 10, and I'll put Top Fan Rivalry on the back. So I have about a dozen of them in my
Yes.
office.
Say that. Mhm. Yeah.
So like when I go to it, you and I had talked about possibly going to a couple of games together. So
Yes.
if I go to an Angels game, oftentimes I'll wear the old retro 1980s home jersey, but it
Mhm.
says Top Fan Rivalry on the back.
Mhm.
Um, if I go to Dodger Stadium, I'll wear a Dodgers Top Fan Rivalry jersey. So, or I'll wear a Top Fan Rivalry shirt or something like that. I don't. I'm not the person that you're going to see me in the socks that the team and blue underoos and stuff. Like I'm not like I don't go all out. Some people do, and I think that that's great.
Mhm.
Jamie, the Philly sports guy, paints his face like a Philly baseball.
Mhm.
Um, he's a fantastic guy to go to a game with. He's just so much fun. But I don't do that. I'm just kind of I'll wear a jersey that says Top Fan Rivalry or wear Top Fan Rivalry gear to a jersey to a game and
Yeah.
talk to people. Because there's a lot of people that listen to our podcast, and the last thing I want to do is offend them by something that I'm wearing, right? And so
Sure.
when I go to Angel Stadium and people look at me and say, "I know you're a Dodger fan," I'm like, "Read the back.
Yeah.
It says Top Fan Rivalry. Read the back." Right? Um, Okay, Miss Lena, how about you? Are you a come as I am girl? Are you a gear up, let's do it, let's support the boys in blue type thing?
So I have like very specific dress code for that. So if the Dodgers are playing, I'm at a game, the Dodgers are playing, I'm of course wearing my Dodgers gear. Have to, right? But
Okay.
I have gone to games where it's just the, my Dodgers aren't playing, so I will wear like a solid t-shirt or a solid something. But now that I'm a part of Top Fan Rivalry, I will absolutely wear my TFR gear. So that way, hey, y'all know why I'm here. Dodgers are here, but you know why I'm here. I'm here so I don't get fined. So so yes, there's a dress code. There's a
There's
dress
so
code you got to
fun.
stick to. Yeah, there's a dress code you got to stick to. But yeah,
Oh.
always, because I honestly do feel a little awkward wearing Dodger stuff at a non-Dodgers game.
Yeah,
So, and I just feel like you're kind of a target sometimes too when you're doing that. And I make fun of people who do that. Like when you're at a game and you're like, they're not even playing. Why are you here? So it's just one of the things like you kind of have to, you want to blend in, you want to blend in with the crowd, but you also don't want to stick out like a sore thumb. But like I said, I'm always available for a good game, regardless of who's playing. But I am just, true to the blue, and I want to make sure that I represent, respectfully anytime I'm
yeah.
at a game. Yeah.
So it's funny. It's funny that you say that because when we're in Philadelphia, so East
Hmm.
Coast has a totally different vibe. And we'll get you out there sometime. But they've
Yes.
got a totally different vibe, and they are, when I say fanatical, they're fanatical.
Hmm.
They are very fanatical at being fans, which is great. Everybody has that, right? We have that at Dodger Stadium, but East Coast vibe's different. So we're going to Philadelphia, and Philadelphia's big rivals are the Braves and the Mets. And I got
Okay.
little Megan with me, right?
Hmm.
Our
Hmm.
marketing director.
Yep.
And she, very rightfully so, she got a Top Fan Rivalry shirt on,
Hmm.
skirt, whatever, and she's got her Mets hat. And I
Yeah.
looked at her and I said, I'm not going to protect you. Like, I'm not getting stuff thrown at me because you got to wear that hat.
Yeah.
And she goes, nobody's gonna say anything. And sure enough, everybody protected her really good, except for one guy came up to her, probably about 17 years old, and goes, "Oh, the Mets effing suck." And she's like, "Oh, boo." But it was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah. Good, good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like anytime you're in a crowd like that, you just never know what you're gonna get. So sometimes you do kind of have to be a little, discreet, I guess, about your team. But make
Okay,
yeah,
let me ask you
yeah.
the final question.
Okay.
Okay. So we've talked about like when you're going to a game. We
Yeah.
talked about what kicks off the experience. We talked about like your fandom, what are your guilty pleasures, the food, the drinks, how many of me you'll see at the end of the game. I'm teasing. Right. Are you a come as you are girl? Are you like geared up?
Mhm.
But uh, overall, what gives it an A+ experience, or what gives it just a great experience when you are in the car leaving? What tells you that was awesome?
It's always been like if there's like a good finale for me, like when there's fireworks or there's like a drone show or something like that. That's always been like the cherry on top for me. But honestly, just seeing my friends having a good time. My friends are the ones who started dragging me, to the Dodger games. So anytime we're leaving a game and just seeing how happy they are, win or lose, like it's just one of those things where like we just created memories together and we all had a good time regardless of what the outcome was. Of course, my friend David, he's the one who will shed a little tear if Dodgers lose. But, once I get him back to, being happy, then we're good. We're good to go. But yeah, I think it's just the overall like making new memories, and I will always cherish the memories that I have with my friends going to the games. I'm trying to drag my family out there with me. The weird thing is like my family and I were kind of spread out between like Angels, so Angel fans, we have an Angel fan, we have Dodgers fans, we have Giants fans. So yeah, it's a lot going on in my family. But, I figure, well, if your team is playing Dodgers, like why not experience that, together or vice versa. I'm okay with making the drive to, the Bay and watching. I love the Bay anyway, so I would love to go, up there and watch the Dodgers play. I did that with a few friends a couple years ago where we were like, hey, let's take a road trip, and we had uh one Giants fan and then the rest of us are Dodgers fans. So of course we teased her because we swept them like the entire series. But she heard us I guess taunting her the way there and on the way back. But it's always great to, yeah, just create those memories. So how about you, Bill?
So for me, and this sounds really weird, but it it's going to a game without an incident. Okay. So
Mhm.
you and I and Amber and a few people are going to go to a game. We meet up at the stadium. Obviously, like I said, I see Dodger Stadium. It's glorious, or whatever stadium, Mets, City Field, whatever, right? We walk in, we get our food, we hang out, we chat, we leave, and there's no incident where the couple in front of us is, and I've seen a lot of things at baseball games. I've seen breakups, I've seen
Mhm.
marriage proposals, I've
Yeah.
seen guys get caught cheating.
Oh,
Like
no.
I've seen everything that you can think of
Yeah.
um at baseball games. And so if there's not an incident, I'm always going to enjoy it. And it doesn't matter. I'm a diehard Dodger fan, and I can go to a game
Mhm.
anywhere. The Dodgers could lose, and I still could have a good time if I'm with friends, family, whatever,
Mhm.
right? As long as there's not an incident. I have had situations where we've gone with family and we have little ones and stuff like that, and just kind of you're always on edge watching. Okay, where are they at? Those type of a thing. But as long as there's not an incident,
Right.
I'm I'm as happy as a clam, and
Yeah.
that's what makes it a good experience, right?
Yep. Yep.
So,
Absolutely. Well,
um, yeah,
thank you so much for
you bet.
sharing all of this with us. Like I said, we rarely get to hear from you or from me about, our experiences and our love for the game. So it's just nice to kind of, flip the camera on you and get you to, share some of those fun moments with us. I definitely appreciate you hanging out with me today. And we have a lot going on at TFR. So why don't you share with the folks what we have going on?
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. So today's Wednesday. So enjoy this. And by the way, if you boo because you had to listen to me, I apologize. Remember, Lena will be hosting better next week. Doesn't have to worry about me. Don't worry. But tomorrow night, Wednesday night, if you are a locker room access member, there is a ladies' night in. It is going to be a special night. It is the first ever private event that TFR is doing with the ladies only.
Mhm.
And so if you're not a locker room access member, it's $25. Use the code Lina, Lina, all caps, and you save 10%. That $25 will not only get you into this event, but that gets you into all the content for Top Fan Rivalry for the rest of the next, I shouldn't say for the rest of the year, for the next 12 months. So you get access to articles, you get discounts on merchandise, you get all kinds of fun stuff. This event you're not going to want to miss. Lena, I know you're already registered for it, but my word, my word, my word, it is absolutely going to be so much fun. There's a gal there that works in sports, that's worked in football and baseball. She now, I believe, works in basketball. She's going to talk about being a lady working in sports.
Mhm.
There's a gal who gears up all the time for when she goes out, and she talks about how to pick out the best outfits. Megan's going to be on talking about a few things. Amber's going to be on. I think there's 3 or 4 different hosts that are going to be on. It is
Yep.
going to be an epic event. I think Lena on the low end will have about 20 ladies. On the high end, we might have as many as 60. I
Mhm.
don't know. So it's the ladies' night. Lena, it is so awesome that I don't even get invited to it. Megan
No.
and Amber have already said, you're not welcome. I can't even come on at the end just to say, hi, ladies. Thanks for being on here. They've already said, you ain't got to leave. We got to get the heck out of here. This is
Exactly.
a ladies thing.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I'm so excited. So go to topfanrivalry.com and register. If you're already a locker room access member, just register for it. If you're not a locker room access member, get your locker room access. Um, the event starts at 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, and it can go for an hour. It can go for however long you ladies wanted to go for. And you don't have to stay on for the whole thing. So just do whatever you girls are going to do. It's a Thursday night. It's Friday Eve. Some of you might be
Mhm.
enjoying whatever you enjoy at the end of the night.
Yeah.
So who knows, Lena? Who knows how it's going to go? But it's going to be awesome. I know that much.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, definitely looking forward to it. It's going to be a great time for all the ladies. Make sure that you join us and get ready to, just have a good time. It's always a good time when all the ladies get together to talk about sports.
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
Hmm.
100%. Well, Lena, let's do this again next week. We're kind of rocking this, and let's go have a good time.
Yes,
And we'll get this going. And obviously, it's always fun talking baseball and sports with you, my friend.
absolutely. Well, thank you again. And thank you all for joining us. Until next time.
Sounds good.